Hello, guys. So I just recorded the short to discuss this topic, but I figured that it's way too broad topic to just limit it to 3 minutes. So I really want to discuss it more in depth with you here. And I would like to start with the idea that I'm just a simple person. I started meditating in May previous year, but I'm doing it daily and following the meditation of Dr. Joe. So it's usually hour and a half of meditation, and I visited 2 retreats. But so far, this is the limit of my experience in this topic. After the first retreat, I started to get into those states where I can answer my own questions during meditations or after meditations, usually. And I cannot explain where this information comes from. Maybe it's just my brains, maybe it's like global consciousness or anything. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I'm getting certain ideas and explanations, and they work really well for my life. So I'm sharing here because I'm curious to see how many others are doing the same, thinking the same, or maybe there are absolutely opposite thoughts, different aspects. I would love to hear those. So please share your thoughts. But yeah, during our book study, I heard this phrase, "This is not loving to myself." And I heard it before, and I figured that it never feels right. So I decided to sit down and think through it, like why it does not feel right. And wow, there was a whole process, and I think that I figured a lot more than just an answer to this question. I did like a little bit of kind of scenario, if you wish, because my thoughts are usually quite chaotic, so I'm struggling with expression of my ideas in a more narrow way. So I'm using ChatGPT to help me with that process. Hope you don't mind if I will look into my notes from time to time. This will definitely help to tolerate my videos. I'm sorry, my laptop is taking over part of the screen. But yeah, this is not loving to myself. Usually I hear that in a context of certain emotion or feeling that we have. And it feels like kind of a denial. I don't want this in my life. But when I think about it, and I was going through therapy quite a lot, and I was studying psychology for some time, like probably 3 years or so, from different aspects for myself, not for coaching others or, teaching someone. What I figured is that everything, all of our emotions are kind of tips, if you wish, for our life. They are coming from somewhere. So, for example, let's take fear of public speaking. This fear comes from the fear of rejection by society. And this is one of the core fears we do have because we are social creatures. And when we are telling our body, hey, bro, why stop doing that to me? I do not want to fear of public speaking. What we're doing is we're denying our previous experience. And it's not only our previous experience. Sometimes certain experiences given to us by our parents, grandparents, or even on genetical level. This is basically evolution, right? And this experience is always about survival. We've been hurt before, and now our brains, our mind is trying to avoid the same hurting situation that it had before. So it knows that some time ago, maybe in school, kindergarten, I don't know, maybe with parents, we were expressing our opinion and we were punished for expressing this opinion or denied by someone. And we got this fear that next time we're expressing our opinion, we will have the same reaction. And we know that we will not be able to survive without society. So our body is telling us, don't do that, don't speak. People will deny you. It will hurt us. We will not survive. So basically what our body is doing, it is protecting us from the worst. And we are saying that this is experience that is not loving to us. I don't think it's true. It doesn't sound like true. It sounds like our body is loving us, loving life to the extent where it is ready to tolerate certain things in order not to be destroyed or punished. And it is a form of love. At least I feel like it. Though I also think that the problem that we have here is in definition of what love is. And I don't think anyone has the definition. I don't think I ever heard it before. So I feel like any emotion has a set of frequencies. It's not one specific frequency. First of all, let's start from the beginning. I think that we are, as an entity, consist of our higher self, spirit, being, whatever, and our physical 3D sculpture, which consists of mind and brains and physical body, all those parts. So the higher self actually does not operate in emotions. It operates in frequencies. And this idea I got from meditation, because when I was doing the meditation with Dispenza and we are going into 5D, at certain levels there are no emotions. You're just in this space of calmness. Meilan names it, I think, space of calmness. And this is how it feels. I think our entity can connect to any given frequency. And our body can translate any frequency, not any, certain small spectrum of frequencies into emotions. And this is basically how our consciousness, how our higher self communicates with the body through those energy centers, in the ways that it is catching up certain frequencies, and our body translates those frequencies. But our body also has its own mind, same as our consciousness. And I think this is actually what Dispenza is talking about, that we started to trust mind-body more than our higher mind. But in overall, when I'm talking about frequency, I'm talking about our higher consciousness and the translation of our body of those frequencies. So when we're talking about love, there might be not one frequency, but a lot of them. The analogy is red color. When you are working in any given editor and you want to pick red color, usually there is a whole palette of reds, right? You can choose darker red, brighter red, more pale red, and so on and so forth. But it's all red, but in the different frequencies, right? Same with emotions. They're same as colors, frankly speaking. We just cannot exactly translate them into emotions, but same frequencies. So emotion of love is a set of frequencies. There can be higher frequency and lower frequency of love. Higher frequency of love I experienced also in meditation. And for a lot of people, I heard the translation of it as a love of the God. Because this is the feeling that is overwhelming for our body. It feels like we're bursting in the It feels like we cannot feed that much. But also, this is kind of translation again of our body. But the frequency itself is like feeling that exists beyond any object or subject. And we cannot even target someone with this love. We can kind of connect, I think, to this frequency. And what we're doing with Coheals, for example, we are trying to multiply this frequency. Let's not go there yet. If we will decrease the frequency of love, we will go probably into the area of the fourth energy center, where we are experience love towards objects or subjects. So this is where we're loving our parents, our friends, our families, kids, pets, our house, I don't know, anything, right? So this is another form of love that we can express, that we can live through, but it's a little bit lower frequency. But if we will go a little bit even lower, there is also third, second, and first energy centers that also can connect to that frequency, but the expression of love is slightly different. So our body operates with three lowest energy centers, and its frequency of love is all about survival. It's all about past experiences, and it translates into those emotions that we consider negative. But in fact, they are like tips in the game. Or I don't know, any, like when you're reading a book, you're getting an idea from somewhere. Like same, your body does. Your body gives you an idea, like, hey, we're uncomfortable with this because we had past experience. Okay, so as of now, we established, right, that those negative emotions are actually act of love of our body in order to survive, because it loves the life itself so much that it wants to live no matter what. As a side note, I have to say that there are certain conditions when our body is giving up, and I think that it has, well, I haven't think through them, but I feel like they're different. They're very different from this particular frequencies and emotions. So we're not now talking about like depression or any other state. They are more complex than that for sure. So yeah, I think we have to admit and accept that this is a form of love that our body can give us. Though, in order to change those patterns, because they're based on previous experience that might never repeat, or even if it will repeat, we are already got so much more experience throughout our lives that maybe we can deal with that stress, right? And maybe we can live through that emotion. And in order to allow our body to live through the emotion in a new form, what we want to do is to show that it's safe. And there are a lot of ways actually to release trauma. Yoga can help, massage can help, because majority, like, or maybe all traumas are somewhere in our body, in our muscles. I was actually having a yoga class yesterday, and I felt that my body became so flexible. It's kind of crazy because I haven't done any exercise to like increase my flexibility, but it feels like because I'm relaxed, my body is just like release the tension of muscles, and I can do things that I haven't done before. So I was like, oh, hello. I do remember that during my, like 5 years ago, I was doing meditations and I was struggling with the pigeon pose. And I'm doing it now without any preparation. It was like easy peasy. Yeah, that's weird. And anyway, there are a lot of forms to release negative experience. One of those forms is actual meditation, and specifically going into higher energies. The way it is working is that when we are in fourth energy center or up, I mean frequencies again, right? When we are in those frequencies, our consciousness become our mind, not our body. And this consciousness is full of curiosity and willingness to experience different aspects. And it's open, it's like kind of like kid, and it's basically a kid, right? When we are as a children, we do not have yet this layer, so we are open to any experience. We're doing like crazy stuff, and majority of it working out. So when we are in those states, our mind is releasing this tension, this mechanism of protection. So we can see more opportunities. We can live through even something that you would consider a negative situation before, but now it feels like it's okay. I don't care much, right? Um, you're more relaxed, you're more accepting. It's harder to actually hurt you for sure when we are in our heart center. It's pretty much, first of all, I notice that I'm not attracting hurtful energy when I'm there. Second, even if something happens and I know that my normal reaction would be like protection, I'm more accepting and more open, and I'm more compassionate towards others, even in tough situations. So this is for sure very helpful. Um, and the thing is that our brains are working and our mind is working the way that it set up specific patterns. And in order to remove those patterns, we have to or forget them or build new patterns, or both of them, I guess. So when we are repeating this experience, that it is safe to do public speaking, we'll have to maybe overcome this fear. Or, for example, if you have a fear of public speaking, I think it's really cool to do, um, to sign up for a few public speakings, and before them do the meditation. So you will start the public speaking from fourth and upper energy centers. So during this experience, you will be more relaxed, and it will be definitely more positive from all aspects. And this is how your brains will figure, oh, okay, not scary anymore. Good, we are overcoming this fear. So, yeah, I think that this is a way to work with our body, with our emotions, and use our emotions, especially tough, negative one, as a guidance. What has happened before? Why? And yes, sometimes it's just, you know, someone trying to test the ground, and it's up to you to set up boundaries, and that's it. I'm talking about boundaries in every video, I guess, but it is what it is. Life. It's not like that simple, right? um so yeah, I love meditations. I think they are very freeing, and same with yoga. And I believe that again there are a lot of aspects that we can use to work with our mind and body in order to release certain traumas, certain experiences. Choose yours. Uh, it's just important, I think, to be thankful to our body for doing all this work, hard work for survival, and not to say that it's not loving to us. What is that? This is basically the whole idea, but I also wanted to share something that I heard recently on social media. And again, I do not know if it's true, if it's not, but I like this idea from the standpoint of the result it brings to me. So there was an idea that we are, as a consciousness, actually kind of in line out there to appear here on Earth. So it's not that simple process. It's like limited capacity and lots of souls that are waiting. And we're coming here to live through emotions, to get the experience of emotions. because again, our consciousness does not have this capacity to translate frequencies into emotions, right? So we are coming here to get this experience, and we're kind of explorers or players, if you wish. And I think that this idea makes me truly enjoy this experience, truly believes that this whole thing is part of my exploration project, part of the journey, and I want to leave it to 100%, 110% if it's possible. I do not want to use only 20 and regret after. And it's not even about regret, it's just about enjoyment of life, first of all. And it's way easier to enjoy it when you are in the higher frequencies, for sure. So, yeah, let's forget this phrase, this is not loving to me. And maybe we can change it to, this is loving to me, but now I want to change this experience to something that will help me more. Yeah. So, yeah, please share, what do you think? I know this is kind of an accumulation of Dispenza's work and non-Dispenza's work and my own thoughts, but I think it's kind of, again, as a puzzle, it kind of makes all pieces come together and create the whole picture of how everything works. And also with that idea, it feels like now the phrase that everything is love makes so much more sense. It is. It is just a question of the frequency of this love and the purpose of this love. Oh, actually, the purpose of love is an interesting topic, I think, because for lower energy centers, the purpose is survival and procreation. For fourth energy center is more probably about communication and enjoyment. And for higher frequency, it is, I don't know, it's just, I guess, the core experience and the goal. Oh my God, it's life purpose. It is. I was always talking about being happy is a life purpose. Hello. Anyway, sad process life. Let me know what you think. I feel like there are a lot of things to discuss and a lot of aspects to open further, but I am happy that I've stopped, I paused and noticed this phrase and decided that I need to dig deeper. Sometimes it's just crazy how it all opens, right? Okay, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.